You are now listening to the Beyond the Challenge podcast, brought to you by the Challenge Program, Inc.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Challenge podcast. We have another special episode. We are here with our Student of the Year winner for 2025. We have Santana Kennedy. She is from McKeesport area and high school, and she was our winner for our Student of the Year and was announced at our Crystal Owl Gala in April. So obviously we had to bring her down to good old TCP to give her the full interview to really get to know who Santana is and get to know everything. So here she is. Santana is here and ready to roll.
Hello all.
So we're just going to do a fun and simple Q&A, nothing too crazy, nothing too intense, and we're just going to get the ball rolling. So first, obviously they know who you are. Your name is Santana, but you do have a lovely nickname named Tana, so we're going to call you that for the rest of the gig here.
Hi again.
But first, let's start with a little bit about yourself. Can you tell me who you are, what you do, all that good stuff?
Of course. Well, as you've just heard, I've been introduced. My name's Santana Kennedy. I'm from McKeesport. I have lived in McKeesport all of my life. I was raised there. My family, my immediate, have been there for a long time as well. We really like it there. It's where we have all of our memories. We've moved from street to street. We've seen a whole bunch of people. I made a whole bunch of friends there.
Okay, awesome.
It was really nice. I would say that it's a strong community on my part. And I kind of just like where it's at. It's like a little quaint town. A little bit more is, well, I plan to go to college.
Okay, awesome, nice.
Plan to go to IUP for all my IUP goers or
Let's
thinking
go.
of or deciding.
Congrats.
I'm going to go for culinary. I want to open up my own business because I just want to have something to have a foundation somewhere.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And just open up some doors to people, opportunities to others. I've always liked baking. My Nana wasn't the biggest baker, but every time she did, it was always something amazing. My mom also bakes half the time. She made this, what's it called? I'm trying to figure out the word for it. I remember. It was a cheesecake cookie bar. That's what really opened my eyes to baking in general. When you make something like that, it's just wonderful. It tastes wonderful. It looks cute. It's just all I wanted. And I really want to dabble in the field and really get to know more intimately about baking. I have an interest in art. I always have. I was always doing art when I was younger.
Okay. Impressive. And you just graduated high school, so any last feelings about high school? I'm assuming you're excited. How was your ending experience?
It was emotional, I would say.
Okay.
I can't really give you one emotion. It was happiness, but it was also sadness because I was letting go bigger parts of my life, which I didn't mention before in my About Myself. I used to do color guard.
Oh, awesome.
And if you don't know what color guard is, it's sort of the thing that had to do with military, flipping rifles, but it's more than that now. It's now a performing art. You have these colorful silks, which are about a yard long. You have 5-foot poles, and it's hard work. It's dedication.
Yes.
It takes a lot of mental practice. It takes a lot of mental, emotional, and you have to really be in it to really understand it. It felt good to do that, but it also felt bad to let it go because I won't be doing it in college. I just won't have the time.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful experience if you are looking for a sport to do. And, if soccer, baseball, or the regular ones don't seem appealing, if your school offers color guard, I would suggest it because you can see some amazing things. You can go really far with color guard, which it's also in cahoots with the band.
Yes.
Which the band goes everywhere depending on the school that you're going to. And it's just beautiful to do. I love being in the costumes. Personally, for me, it was the makeup, the costumes, and being on the floor in front of all these people performing for them. It was great. So that would be the biggest thing that I'm going to miss about school and high school. I will miss all the people I was on the team with because they were my first ever team and my first ever big friend group that I had. So yeah, it was really emotional sitting there, walking across the stage and flipping my tassel to the side that basically said, "You're out of here." And I was like, I'm happy because I get to go and move on and go to my career options and my dreams and my college. But it's I'm leaving all of what I knew, all of what I loved, whoever I had become friends with kind of behind. But at the same time, I can always find them again. I can always somehow make my way to the performing arts. I can either go as a viewer, or I could maybe find an independent group and just get back into it, because it was really one of the first ever sports that opened up my heart. So it felt nice.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I know my cousin, she used to do color guard too, and she talked about it just as passionately as you do, and it's very impressive. Like, I have seen some of her routines, and I'm like, wow, like the timing, the execution, the strength, the resilience it takes. Like, it is truly a sport out there, and you're not only, getting buff while doing it, but you're showing a true art piece moving out on the dance floor. So very impressive, super cool about that. And I love how you worded about graduating. You're excited, but you're also still living in the moment, reminiscing, all that, because when you graduate high school, it is definitely a whirlwind in and of itself.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear that you're still pondering, but super excited for the future, and we are so excited for your future, and excited, and we're here to support you in every route and every journey you end up going through.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, since you are here at the Challenge Program in Johnstown, of course we have to ask you, how did you hear about the Challenge Program Inc.? How did you find us? Did you hear us through word of mouth? How did you hear about us?
Well, the Challenge Program was first advertised throughout the school. I had never heard of them before a day in my life outside of it. I haven't seen any posts about them until one day when I was in my, I think, sophomore year, around that time. I had heard that there was going to be an assembly for, like, the older kids, and I was just like, what could that be about? So I did kind of go in there at some point in time, and they were talking about awards that people had earned, and sophomores and what they're going to earn next time. And that's when I first heard about all of what you guys had done, and I was already excited. I'm like, a program that comes to the school tells us that basically to be entered, we just have to be good students. We have to have good academic grades or just improve them, good attendance or just improve your attendance. Basically show that you care about school and you still want to continue your education or just better the education you have right now. It was like, that sounds not bad. So when it came to the next year, when I was a junior, I was like, let me talk to some of my teachers and see what I can do.
Yeah, see what this is.
They said, they had told me, you're already entered. As long as you're in the school, as long as you're improving your grades, as long as you're improving your attendance, you're already being like,
you're already a candidate. Yep.
You're already a candidate. So that's what really was like, oh, so I don't even have to like apply. All I have to do is just show them that I'm doing better. And when it came to the awards again, they basically said they gave all the students their awards, and then they opened up the Student of the Year. I was really interested in the Student of the Year, not because of the money, but also because they just promoted it as a big event. And I was like, that seems really nice to do. And I want to share my story. I want to tell people what's going on, what happens in school, what happens in somebody's personal life, and how to really go from then. So I applied, and I made it to the top 10 the first time.
Let's go.
Top 10. You can always make it to the top 10. Just make sure you write down. But I made it to the top 10, and I was really surprised. I hadn't known until 2 weeks before. This is the funny story for me knowing about the challenge program. After I had applied, I had honestly thought I didn't make it, which I did, obviously. But I hadn't known until 2 weeks before the Crystal Owl Ball. Actually, not even. It was about a week and a half.
Okay.
My principal at the time had called me down to the lunchroom, and she looked at me and she said, "Did you know that you were in the top 10? And I looked at her, I said, well, I kind of didn't. I remember following you guys on Instagram the first year I tried out for it, and I seen my name, but I was just a little confused. I was like, oh, my name's up there, but I didn't receive no emails. I haven't received no mail. Nobody told me anything. I was a little confused, and I was like, well, yeah, I kind of did, but is there something going on? She said, oh, they sent you an invitation to the Crystal Owl Ball about a month ago. And I just looked at her, and I was like, oh, it's a big event, isn't it? She said, yeah. It's a really formal event, isn't it? She said, yeah. And I just, once again, stopped and looked at her. Oh, I have no dress. I have no shoes. I have no outfit. I don't even know if I'm getting there on time. She said, do you want to go? I said, oh, yeah, of course I want to go. I'm going to figure it out. And my guardian angel, my friend, Sydney, she bought me a dress the same day.
Yes.
She bought me a dress during practice so that I could go, and I was able to find a coat and wear that to the event. And that's how I really found out about the the challenge program, all that they've done for the students, everybody who earned something, and all of the good that they put out towards these schools and the business partners and how they helped out. And that's what made me really want to keep trying and learning more about you guys.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you for the great shout out. And you really nailed some of our points. You nailed that students don't have to apply, they're already there. And then I loved how you worded that it's not about, you don't have to be the best. It's just about being the best that you can be. You don't have to be top dog. You don't have to knock these people out.
Yes.
You just show up, you do school, you do it the best you can, and you're already in the running for our awards. So.
Yes, it's really just about your improvement. It's not about you beating the next person in front of you. It's about you being able to maintain how you are doing, just to show that you have grown, even just the littlest of bit. So it really was like a good moment for students to know that it's not about winning all the time. It's just about growing.
Yeah, growing yourself. Yes, perfectly said. And then since you did make it to the gala and everything, that was a crazy story. I did not know the background to you getting there. That is crazy.
It was actually like really, really, really scary at first because me and my mom had no idea what to do. She didn't know what to wear.
Yeah.
We didn't know if my dad was going to be able to make it. He wasn't, unfortunately. He had work that day, but it was just me and my mom. We had no outfits that matched, unlike this year, but we just went in there and we didn't know what to expect. But it was actually really fun. Another person from McKeesport was also in that top 10.
Okay, cool.
So I got to go with like a little buddy.
Yeah,
so it was really it eased it a little bit, but yeah, it was really surprising.
Okay, sounds good. And you're talking about like not this year, but the year before?
The year before, yes.
Okay, I'm saying because I feel like this year shouldn't have been maybe as chaotic, but
this year was a little bit more put together.
Okay.
It was more chaotic personally because I'm in the top 3, but last year it was crazy.
okay, crazy overall, but in a crazy good way.
Crazy good way, crazy positive, because it was an invite to an event like this that I had no idea how to prepare for, but going there just eased it all out because I was like, this was really fun. I can't wait to do this again.
Yep. No, I won't lie. I will say all the staff members, they were also panicking. Oh, what are we going to wear? What are we going to do? This, that. And then the second you walk into those, the grand ballroom, you're like, I'm here. There's a peace of mind.
Over.
It's all good, whatever happens. So totally feel you on that. And then since you were announced our 2025 Student of the Year, when you're on stage and you're top 3 lining up there and hearing all the lovely messages and you just got done watching your promo video of yourself and you were announced, what was going through your head when you realized that you were the winner?
Okay. Another funny thought is that nothing went through my head at the moment. I was so blank because I had no emotion to know. I couldn't process it. That's what I'm looking for. It just, they announced my name and cheers. And I was sitting there, I'm going to have to speak. And I'm already, if you don't know this about me, which I don't think I've said in the video, I had social anxiety and I still kind of do, which is why I'm a little struggling on the podcast right now, but
You're doing great.
Thank you. When they announced my name, I was like, I'm going to have to speak in front of all these people. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. I don't know what I am. What is going on? And so I walked to the front and I spoke. And then when I was looking at all the people in front of me cheering for me, waiting, I was like, it was euphoric. That's the emotion. It was a euphoric moment. It reminded me of the times when I would perform in front of a crowd that was so big you couldn't even see the last person in the stands. You were looking so high into the lights, they all disappeared, hearing all the cheers and the applause. It was a moment that I knew you got to gather yourself and you got to show them that, like, this is why you're here. This is why you won. This is why they chose you. So it was really one of the most magical moments for me. That's what went through my head. I said, this is truly magical. I couldn't feel nothing but happiness and appreciation for both the staff of the challenge program, the business partners, and all those people who put this all together just for me to be able to speak. I wanted to speak for them, speak for myself, and speak for my fellow nominees because it truly was a special moment for me. So I would say that I was just excited and happy.
Yes, that was a beautiful answer. I loved how you described a fjord because that is just such a all collective answer, and you really did crush that speech. You couldn't tell you were nervous, anything. You absolutely crushed it for you, for us, for the business partner. Like 10 out of 10, it was spectacular. So, and we're so thankful that you were Student of the Year. You truly did deserve it. So that was truly amazing, and it was a great time to hear your speech in real time.
I just love adding coins at the end. Just know I only practiced that speech
once. You would not be able to tell. You were flawless through that thing.
Once. I practiced, well, if you consider the one at the actual event, it would be considered twice, but I would only consider it once because at practice, I kind of spoke fast through it. And I kind of was more nervous. I messed up a whole paragraph and I was like, you know what, let me just stop and take a breather. But I practiced it once before the whole event. When we got there, I spoke to the microphone when we were supposed to speak if we won, which I wasn't sure. And so technically twice, but I only consider it once because the first time I didn't mess up.
Yeah.
But that I only did it that many times and that was it. So it was a little funny again. Little funny thing just to add at the end.
No, that's a great anecdote that I would never been able to guess that you only did it once. And I know I would not be able to do that. I'd have to read it 30, 40, 50 times. So the fact that you did that once and flawlessly, that is spectacular. That is super impressive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then you mentioned it a little bit before when you were talking about what it felt like to have a business partner. So what does it mean for you, and then I guess you could say for other students in schools, to have a business partner?
It means that you have some sort of foundation to work with before you even do anything. Having a business partner is truly about how you can manage yourself and work with another person who's willing to help you out as much as possible. Business partners, which Bank of America is mine, they have reached out to the students multiple occasions. They have come to the school. They have given PowerPoints. They have given presentations. They talk about all that they offer. They talk about ways that they can help you. They talk about either career goals after high school. They talk about college after high school. They talk about opening up bank accounts. They talk about loans. They talk about anything you can think of that a bank would usually do it, but they make sure that they say it in a way that you understand. Because sometimes business partners don't elaborate on certain things that students might not understand at the time because they've never dealt with things like that. But that Bank of America came and really told everybody, explained it thoroughly, and they told you can always come to us and we will make sure what you want can be possible. And so that's what it feels like to me, have business partners, like having a little buddy next to you, a friend who is willing to support you for like your financial endeavors and also be able to give you what you want and show you that they mean business. Because at the end of the day, what we all really want is just to have some sort of financial stability for our futures that we're super unsure about, especially as the new students graduating in 2025. So yeah, having a business partner is really just sort of like a support. It's really giving you some sort of fallback that you know that you'll have somebody there to catch you. So that's what it means to me to have a business partner and really just make sure that I don't go too far adrift and they'll just pull me back in.
Yeah, no, that was beautifully said again, and that's our goal with all of our business partners. They're there to catch you, to give you advice, not just in banking, but we have construction, we have electrical, we have secretary work, stuff like that. So to love to hear that Bank of America is doing a superb job with not only being there, but they're also being there and mentoring and guiding, not just you, but the student body as well. So that is super cool. And if we had Rob Toombs, he's like your actual specific person from Bank of America. If he was in the room with you, what's one thing that you would say to him?
Always start the first conversation with a thank you, especially towards him and his business. It's always like a charitable moment when he walks in because he's like a little ray of sunshine. And also, he's also willing to tell you everything that you want to know right then and there. He won't hide nothing. He won't skim around anything. So I would just say thank you, and also you're wonderful, because he really is wonderful. And that's really what I would have to tell him, because that's like the most coming out of my heart. Like, just, he's wonderful.
Okay, yeah, no, Rob, he is a super chill, wonderful, helpful guy. So you nailed the head on the nail on there. I don't know, however that saying is. I don't know, it's not coming out right now, but nailed the head, yeah, I don't know. But you really nailed it, yeah, nailed it to the 10, so yes. And then, I think we already talked about it for the beginning, but we'll go back to it again a little bit. Do you have any big plans? Do you have like a yearly goal, maybe a 5-year goal, and then like a, you know, what you're going to do before you retire goal? We'll just circle back to it again.
Got you. Well, mostly my plan for right now, since this month, within at least the next 2 months, I'll be moving into college. I plan to move into college within 2 months. My college plan is a 16-month program with an externship put into those 16 months. So I plan to do the baking and pastry to get my certificate, and then do the externship somewhere out of state and learn and get all of what I need knowledgeable in the baking industry down somewhere else. Once that finishes, I'm more than likely going to travel a little bit before I come back to McKeesport
live
to
it up.
learn some more, see what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. I want to learn more about all the different ways people work in kitchens, because not only do I want to do baking and pastry, I'm really into the culinary field in general. I really want to open up a restaurant with my friends. So if I were to time this out, I would be going to college, doing my externship for about 5 to 6 months, and then I'm going to be traveling for maybe, I would say, 8 months. And then I'm going to come home and give myself a little rest. And then I'm going to get with my friend again. And we're going to start talking business. We're going to start really going into it, learning what we should do, how we want to set it up, where we want to put it at, where we were thinking on a menu and all things like that. So we can really have everything laid out and then have almost like a timetable just to really figure out, this is what we need. Here's what we're doing. This is what we have done. This is what we're waiting for. And I feel like within the next 5 years or so, that would really come to fruition. We'll have a business up within those 5 years.
Okay, that's awesome. That is a very impressive timeline. And it sounds like you got it figured out, because I would have been like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. But you got the 8 months down to this down. You were super impressive. And I love the sounds of it. I got full faith in you. Opening a business is no easy challenge, but from the dedication and the work that you've done already, I know you got it in you. We're excited for you. And then I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this. This is just a personal, I would like to know question. Since you're doing it with your friend, do you have any like fun names or fun ideas for the business? Or is that just still in the air because you're not even there yet?
It is still in the air. We have no idea what we want it to be named, because we're so different in what we think are cute names or cool names or just professional names. Yeah. Because in her eyes, she wants more of like a classy restaurant that has something new. Okay. Her first idea when she thought of a business for a restaurant, she wanted a rotating menu. What that means for us is that she wants a menu that changes it's either every week or every month, depending on her. She wants the kitchen to be able to do a whole menu, from the appetizers, the drinks, the desserts, the entrees, and all the sides, to be one thing for this month, and then the next month it goes to something else. Okay. Which is really cool, because there are some restaurants that are able to do it, but there's very little of them, because most restaurants keep the same menu, keep the same items, because they're so used to people coming in and getting the same thing. Yeah. So if it's in high demand, they would just keep buying it because they're constantly getting the demand for it. Yeah. She wanted to do something different, and I was all for it, because it's like, you don't see that often.
No, you don't, yeah.
You don't see many restaurants constantly changing the menu, or simple things. You maybe see them change the soup of the day, or maybe the lunch special of the day. Yeah. But a whole menu, it's difficult to even make one menu. But I feel like we can do it. She's always thinking of new foods, new ideas, and new things to try. And she wants me to be there to also help her out with that, give her new dessert ideas, give her new drink ideas, and all things. So that's her idea. What I wanted more was like a franchise, but also not a franchise. I want to have a home bakery that I start up first, where you can get all the originals from, the original idea, the original recipes. And then I want to open up smaller ones with the same name under mine, so my own franchise, and kind of put it around, because I don't want just one group of people to be able to see what I do. I want a whole place to see what I do.
Yes, go crazy. Yes.
And she said she was thinking of the same thing, was opening up a franchise after hearing what we were saying about it. So we were going to open up somewhat of like a fusion together. So really like a restaurant and bakery put together. That's awesome. In one spot, so you can get your baked goods and you can get a nice meal to go.
A one-stop shop.
Yeah, one-stop shop.
Okay, I love that idea. That sounds super cool and daunting with your fancy menu rotation and everything. But I love it. I hate having to bounce place to place. So if I can get a good meal and my bakery and some extra goodies on the way out, sign me up. I will be there. I will be the first in line. That sounds like an amazing opportunity and idea, too. It's great to hear that you have somewhat of an idea, or not just somewhat of an idea. You're out here like, oh, like, we're doing this. We have these ideas. Like, you are ready to roll.
Ready to run and go with it. My one coach said, she said, your foot is on the gas pedal and you're not slowing down. Just keep going.
Yes, you really are.
And I was just like, that's the life motto right now, is just put your foot on the gas and keep going. Be safe, be careful, look ahead of you, look around you, look back sometimes, because there's always something that you haven't seen before and you can always take it in. So just keep going and pushing forward.
Yes, wise words from Tana.
Thank you.
Yes, and that was a good little metaphor too. Get in the car and look around, and before you know it, you'll be at your final destination. So right on. And then, since you are our student of the year, how will you be using this title and platform with going on? Do you have any ideas or kind of any mentality going along with this now that you have this oh so fancy status?
For this exactly, it's I wouldn't even call it a title. It's more of an award, if anything. I want to use it more as an achievement that I've had and encourage others to continue to try, because this is what the whole program is about. It's about trying, growing, and earning what you do from what you've grown from, what you've tried for. And I want to really use it to motivate others to kind of push forward. And even if you think that you might not, there's always a chance that you will. Because both times I didn't think that I was, but both times was I proven wrong. So it's always just about how you really move forward. So I kind of want to use this as also a metaphor, words of wisdom, that student of the year is a possibility for anybody. You could be student of the year, you could be worker of the year, you could be anything of the year.
Yeah.
Cook of the year if you want to, or just anything. And it's just to show that you have improved. Even if it's just the slightest bit, it's noticeable. You can always notice when somebody is improving, whether it be their health, it be their schoolwork, it be work life, it be college, it could be anything. And taking notice of that, it's really a big moment for those types of people, because sometimes telling them and showing them that they're being appreciated and that you see what they're doing, you see their growth, is all they want to hear.
Yes,
and that's what I really want to push on for people. So student of the year for me is just words of wisdom and an award to show others that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and just as long as you try, there's always the possibility. So that's what I'll be using it for.
Literally spectacular. Spectacular. And then you already kind of mentioned it, I would say, but what would you tell somebody if they were going to be student of the year, or if they're trying to be student of the year? What kind of advice or mentorship would you give for somebody applying for student of the year?
Be honest. Tell the whole story and tell it all. That's what they want to know. You shouldn't have to dumb down or simplify any of your story. They want to know everything because they want to tell it to people. And everything that you went through is something that can be just shown to others, and tell them that there are people out there that are just like you, and they'll always know and always feel comforted that they're not alone in the world with things that they go through, and that it's seen and that it is appreciated that you're still here with us. And I just want to tell you once again, try. Just try. All it takes is 1 second for you to push forward and try. And that's what I really want to tell them, is no matter what, you always have the chance. You always have an opportunity. There's always an open door. There's always support. There's always open arms, open hands, and you just have to look for them. Even if they're a little hard to find, you'll find it. So if you want to be student of the year, just tell your story, be earnest, be honest, and push forward. Make yourself approachable. Talk to them, message them, show them what you really want, and they'll get back to you, because you guys have constantly gotten back to me. So just really put yourself out there and keep pushing forward for it. I believe in anybody. If you want to apply, because it's a good opportunity.
Awesome. Yes, that was some great advice out there to not only apply, but to just push yourself forward, keep going, and really challenge yourself and see what's out there and how you can function in a new challenge and environment. So love that answer. That was top tier, superb. What is something you've learned about yourself through this whole process of just senior year, and then also through the challenge program as well?
I guess I have a way with words. That's the first thing that I've ever really learned, is that I can use what I say and write it down into an even better explanation. So that's really something really big that I've learned about myself. I've always liked writing as well, along with the art and cooking. I used to write little stories to myself sometimes, and I feel like it's all coming into fruition in front of me as I wrote to you guys about everything about the story, because telling the story and writing it down is one thing, but really putting the emotion behind it is another. It's a challenge to some people to really put what they really mean into words and make it as strong as you would need it to be for something like this. So that's something I really learned how to do, was put what I really think, how I feel, and all of the power that I had in my head onto the paper, onto the site, onto the questions, and answering them. So I would say that's what I really learned, is that you can really use words to empower people. You just have to show them what they really mean.
Okay, yes, that is so true, not only just for you, but in general, and I can already tell that's so true from your speech, from your application, and from just your time being on the podcast. You have marvelous answers, so your words are super powerful, and they're also super wonderful how you're executing and just putting everything out into the universe. So, love that answer. I was not expecting that from you. I was thinking something else, and then bam, you did a 180, and I love that answer even better. So,
What were you expecting?
I was thinking like, oh, like keep pushing forward or try something new, or I don't know. I don't want to say something cheesy, but that's what I was expecting. But
The pushing forward. That really is like the motto right now, is to keep pushing forward, because at first it was constantly make something better, but now it's push forward, because now that I'm out of high school, it really is, you have to just keep going.
Yes.
You got to make it through at the end of the day. Even if it might be hard, even if it might be a challenge, you still got to keep going. So that's the new motto. The old one was just be happy and keep going, as in just make sure you're always growing. That's what it was for real. But now it's just, I got to keep going.
okay, yeah, gotta keep going. And with those mottos, I'm assuming you were able to apply them throughout your whole school year and everything. But did you have any big challenges or anything crazy that you had to face this year? And if you did, how did you go through them? And feel free to say anything. You can keep it short. You can expand. Totally up to you on what you want to say here.
The biggest challenge that we really went through, it wasn't exactly this year, but it was constantly moving through the years. My coach for color guard passed away suddenly. And it was a big hit to all of us, and we just didn't know how to process or keep moving forward in some things. So I kind of had to live with that moving forward throughout the rest of my junior year and my senior year. How do I make it as good as he would want it? How do I show him that I still appreciate all this? How do I become what he wanted me to become? So that was like one of the biggest challenges. And for senior year, it was all of the finals that you had to do was a big challenge. It was nerve-wracking. It was scary. Sometimes I felt like I wasn't going to do good enough. We have a senior project that we do in the high school at McKeesport. And it's basically a culmination of your whole high school year, your whole high school life. You put it all together. You put photos. You say your most important moments. You say what you want to do. You tell them everything that you've done, all the careers you've looked at. I had a lot. And I did all of it. It was 20 slides that we had to do. It was the hardest project I've ever really done, even though it was one of the easiest requirements.
Yeah.
And turns out I didn't have to even do 20. I had to do 4.
Look at you go. Oh, you
I had to
crushed
do
that out of
4.
the park.
I only had to do 4 because I did an elective or a CTE, which is usually just like a trade sort of thing, like culinary and Cosmo. And because I was doing a demonstration instead of a whole presentation, they said you only had to do 4. And I was like, okay, wonderful. Turns out what I had done was so good, the teachers came back to get like 4ths of all of it. I made a soup. We had to cook in front of the teachers and basically explain what we're doing, how to make it, put the recipe up on the board so they could take a photo if they want, just to see what's in it. And you cooked it in front of them. And I made about, I would say, if I had 3 jugs of it, 3 big jugs of the soup that I made, they came back and got more and more and more and more and more.
That's the best.
I was sad because I was like, I wanted to take some of this home. You know, my mom wanted some, but you know, I'm glad you liked it. And it got to a point where the same teachers who came into the room to basically give me like my little interview for the student of the year, for the senior project, they kept coming up to me and was like, can you make that again for me? Or do you have a recipe for that? Can you give me the recipe? And I was like, of course I can. I love this. Like, I love giving out the recipe. I love when people like food, because the best way to any conversation, the best way to any friendship, the best way to any sort of good mood is through food. I wholly agree with.
Same,
Just
right on.
Right there. But yeah, it was the senior project and also the sudden passing that kind of really just made a big hit, and it's really like weighed me down because I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. I didn't know if what I really liked at the time was even what I really liked anymore, just because it was such a sad time. But it was what it was, and I just kept going.
Yeah, just kept
had to get it done.
through. Yeah. Okay, well, first off, I want to say so sorry for your loss, and he sounded like a super awesome person and coach, so sorry for your loss, and love to hear that you pushed through and you made it on the other side, and you are flourishing. You're absolutely killing it. And then I just have a fun, cheesy question. Since you're talking about this magical soup, can you tell us the name of it or a little bit of the ingredients going on with it?
Of course. This is my favorite soup. I just made it about, I would say, a week ago.
Okay.
It's white chicken chili. So it's not a soup, but it's chili.
Okay.
It's like a more Hispanic dish. It has Hispanic seasonings in it. It has chicken in it. It has chilies in it, beans and corn. You can use lime juice sometimes if you want. I put fresh onions in it, the lime juice. I use cumin, coriander, paprika, cayenne, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and fresh minced garlic.
Okay. Yum.
And you have like a lot of broths in it. You put chicken broth, you put heavy cream and cream cheese. Personally, I like to add white American. And usually people are like, white American, a cheese, why would you use that? White American has a nice flavor once melted into all of the seasonings. It also helps thicken it up really well.
Yeah, give it consistency.
And you can also make your own thickening agent, which is roux. It's a mixture of fat and flour. So
interesting.
Usually butter. That's what they use in gumbo, just an FYI.
Okay, nice.
Brown,
Fun fact.
darkened roux is what it's called. But yeah, that's all the ingredients for real. And it comes together. It's such a nice filling meal. It's really warm. It's creamy. It has that little bit of spice to it because of the cayenne. And a lot of people like it. So that's the famous soup that I have going on. I've been making it since I've been in culinary, and every time I just got better at making it and making it and making it. I don't need measurements anymore.
Okay, you got it down pat in the head. Nice. Okay, sounds like it's a smash hit every time. So that's a good problem to have, though, because you're saying, you're like, they kept asking, and I was like, yeah, you won't have leftovers, but hey, that's a good problem to have.
I had
asking
the
for
recipe actually published. One of the teachers,
Oh.
we have two cooking teachers. We have a culinary teacher and we have a home cooking, like home ethnic teacher. He published my recipe for me on like an official site because it was just so well liked, and he said, I want to really show the appreciation for what you did, and I was stoked. I was so happy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sitting there like, oh my god, I'm actually getting my own recipe published to a public site that people, I hope it's good enough. I hope it's perfect measurement, because I know some people don't like too much spice in their food, so I was like, let me cut down a little bit, because it's supposed to have like a little nice zing to it.
Yeah.
But it was published, and it was super exciting because that's the first ever recipe moving forward that I've gotten published so far. So I hope to have more published.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. And then I don't know if you can tell off the top of your head, but like, where is your recipe published at? Like, are we, the public, able to like just search it up and find it?
That's a good question, because I don't know. I forgot to ask him where the site was or what he published it on, but I still probably can. And if I do, I'll be sure to make sure everybody knows, because I want everybody to go to it and probably make it, so I can see if it came out the same way I make it. And if it doesn't, I'll always revise it to make sure it's perfectly exact.
Perfect to the 9 yards. Okay, very cool. Very impressive that you're over here getting published as you're doing all of these other crazy, cool opportunities. Very cool. And then, since it sounds like it's been a happening year with not only Student of the Year, TCP, graduating, culinary, the whole 9 yards, if you can, and if you can try to keep it to one, that's great. If you can't, that's cool too. How would you describe this year in one word?
That's a really good question. Monumental.
Okay, I love that answer.
That's a big word.
Yes.
That's a big word for me, but monumental, because each moment it was a rise and a fall, a rise and a fall. It was like climbing a mountain just to go right back down. But it was always worth it, because the view at the peak was something even better than what you would have imagined. It's like seeing the view and then seeing the next peak that you're going to climb. So I'd call it monumental. Each moment was worth a snapshot in my head. So I have all these memories to constantly go back to, photos in my phone to always remember. And it was just monumental. That's the word I would use.
I love how you put that. I wasn't even really there for most of it. And it does sound like it was a monumental year. So congratulations. That is super cool. Super impressive. Thank you. Then this is just kind of a fun little antidote. It doesn't have to be about the topics you've already talked about. But what's something people might not expect about you? Maybe any hidden talents or like a fun fact? Of course, it can deal with the topics you've talked about. But anything kind of crazy out of left field that they're not expecting from Tana?
Man, this is a hard question, because I really am sort of an open book to just tell you. So any hidden things, I'm not good at makeup.
Okay, you're not. Okay, I would not picture that. I picture you really good at the tutorials and everything.
So the first time I ever did makeup was for Guard. That was the first time I'd ever done makeup, and it was difficult because we had a gold, bright gold. I would say like it literally looked like liquid gold with glitter in it.
Yeah.
They said you had to do it all over your eyelid, and then you had to like use this dark purple magenta looking lipstick.
Okay.
Big eyelashes that came out to here because my coach, he said, you're not doing this to look like the next girl on the street. You're doing this to perform up to judges who probably can't see you. They need to feel when you blink. So your lashes need to bring the wind to them so they can feel your sparkles, smell the perfume that you're putting on you even though you're not supposed to, and literally glow on the floor so they can pinpoint you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know how to do makeup. I've never done foundation. I never did a lipstick. I never did eyeshadow. I hadn't even done a contour or a simple dusting over my face.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and wondered, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
All the girls had been doing this for a year already. They've all been doing makeup for a lot longer than me. And the hardest part about it was the eyelashes.
Yeah, that seems daunting, having to get it on and stick.
The easiest way that I would explain to anybody who does put their own eyelashes onto the video is I would aim down. Always aim down and look at it as in you're putting it as close to your lash as possible, or better yet, just use mascara.
Yeah.
Or better yet, just use mascara.
Yeah, it's the easy out.
Just get mascara. And most of the time I couldn't use mascara because I didn't have a lot of eyelashes. My eyelashes go this way instead of out that way. So looks like I have none sometimes. But that was like the one thing that you wouldn't expect me not to know how to do is makeup. Because now most girls going into this year at least know how to do at least a base. I walked in there with like fresh faced, nothing on my face whatsoever. I have to put all this makeup on. What? I didn't know how to do that. And it was also the year I had to learn how to like clean my face from the makeup so I didn't get super bad acne.
Too. Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the little secret facts about me. I don't tell people much no more about me not know how to do makeup. I just, I did my makeup. Hi guys.
Yeah, I'm saying it looks great if you have makeup on. I would not be able to tell that you were not comfortable at doing that stuff. Yeah.
I do have makeup on right now.
Okay, and it looks good. It's like
I
nice,
need to
seamless,
change.
Flawless.
If you do see the contrast, my foundation right now is my winter shade. I have to move on to my summer shade.
Well, of course, you got to get all tanned up, get ready.
Yep, I got to get tan.
Switch out the colors. Oh, yes, you got to soak up the sun.
I got to soak up the sun.
It's a must. It's a must. Well, your makeup looks great. And interesting fact, because I generally would not have been able to guess that either about you. And then we're slowly wrapping it up here, but what would you give advice to your younger self? Or I guess if you don't want to do to your younger self, just like people in general. But I guess if you're talking to 6-year-old Tana, 10-year-old Tana, what are you telling her?
There are so many things still out there to try out. So don't just settle for one thing right now. We're young adults. We're younger. We're young kids. Who's ever watching this, I don't care how old you are. There are still so many things for you to see, to experience, to laugh and cry at, to look and just understand. And I won't want people to settle right now for just what they have. There's always more for you to achieve. There's always more for you to gain. There's always more for you to give. So for her, my younger self, and for also all of you, I would just say, never settle. Just keep reaching and reaching for something better, and keep what you want close to you so that you always have that bit of happiness through the day, through the week, through the month, through the year, for however long you need it, but still continue to strive for something more. Because the more you want, the more you give, the more you earn, it brings you more happiness because you've seen it all. I personally want to see the whole world. I want to travel to each country. Nice. I want to see everything. I want to experience everything. I even want to go to the Antarctic, not even going to lie to you.
Hey,
just go see. I want to see it all, and I want to experience it all because life is so short to just settle for the small things when we can go for the big things and just have all these memories stocked up on our dresser as we get old, sitting there. I remember this time when I went here. And you can just keep telling the story of what you did. So I would just tell all of you, don't give up yet. Just keep going for something that you really want.
Oh, beautifully said. And that was not only good advice for your younger self, which I fully think you are doing and implementing your advice now, but also, like you mentioned, great advice for our viewers and for really anybody. And how you said, no matter the season of life, whether you're in your highest of highs or your lowest of lows, keep going, always strive for something new and better. And I love that. I'm going to take that with me. I'm like, you know what? I could be doing more. You know what? I could be doing this. I could be doing that. So I love that. I'm taking it with me too. So
of course, take it with you, because it's not even about just getting something bigger than what you know. It can just be the small things. If you want to go try that new restaurant, go do that. If you want to go to the gym for an extra hour, go do that. You want to go to the park and have a walk almost once every week, go do that. You can always do something. A lot of people forget we are free of will. We can do what we want. There's nothing holding you back from doing it. Obviously, not the bad stuff. But the good things, there's nothing holding you back but yourself, your own mind. If you think about it, you can always somehow arrange a way for it to happen. You have so much time, and people don't realize that. You can always find the little gaps where you can fill something else in for. So just really take the time, look at the schedule, see what you can move, see what you can't move, and just make the time for you to go do those things that you've never done before. Go experience it. Go have fun. Go laugh. Go be happy, because there's no point in being super sad in life the whole time. There's always something to smile about, even if it's just waking up, sitting on the porch and watching the sunrise. I like doing that. I like sitting outside on the porch with my mom sometimes, just watch the sunrise and like the cool breeze of dusk, a little dampness, and a cup of coffee in hand. That's like one of the small joys that I really like. Yeah,
and that's what life's all about. Whether it's a big joy or finding the small joys, it's just another moment of happiness here, there. And that's really what it's all about. So lovely worded there, lovely put, and really recommend putting that into implementation, because you're not only going to just feel better, but you'll see physical and tangible changes too once you start living for yourself and living for happiness as well. So and then our very last question, or close to last question, who would you want to give a quick shout out to who's helped you get there, or just a quick shout out to anybody or anything?
I want to give a big shout out, obviously, to the Challenge Program for getting me here on the podcast, Student of the Year, the Crystal Owl Gala, and also all of the other students that they've helped, because they've constantly been helping people. I want to give a big shout out to my friend, Sydney, who helped me even get to the first Crystal Owl Gala I've ever been to. She's the one that bought me my dress. She's the one that helped me find a lot of the stuff that I wanted to wear to the party and the little gala, and she's been a big help throughout my whole life. She was the first person that I really became friends with that weren't already in guard, and we joined together, and it was super nice. I want to give a shout out to my parents, obviously, my whole family, for pushing me to keep doing this and keep going forward. And I want to give a shout out to McKeesport Area High School, because they have some teachers in there who really want to see you succeed, and they put their all into making sure that you are the best you can be. And that's one of the most wonderful things I think a school can have, is people who want to see you succeed in life. So those are my shout outs.
Okay, awesome. Love it. You really covered everybody there. So we greatly appreciate you being here, taking the time to not only apply for Student of the Year, but winning, and then also doing the lovely podcast. We're so grateful, so thankful for you. And I guess we could say, do you have any other last final words, any closing statements, any wrap-ups you have? If you don't, that's totally fine too.
I just want to tell everybody who's might be watching this video or listening to this podcast that always believe that there's somebody that's going to help you. Don't just think that there's nobody out there that isn't going to lend me or offer me a helping hand when there is. The Challenge Program is one of those people, one of the many people who are going to offer help to you, who are going to see you for your efforts. And don't just give up because people tell you to, or because that's what you see on your phone, on social media, or you just see in other people the way they live. Don't copy another person. Live for you, live to try, and live to grow, and live to see everything. Try everything. Experience it all. So just once again, keep pushing forward. Accept help when it's given, because you never know when there might be a doubt, like a moment in time where you have to do it yourself. So it's better to have all of your ducks in a row than to have none at all. That's what I really want to say. So thank you guys for watching the podcast. I hope you enjoy all of what I've said. I hope you try out for the Challenge Program. I hope you really look into them. I hope you experience them the way I did. And I want you guys to try to go for Student of the Year because I believe you guys can do it.
Okay, awesome. You nailed every point. Again, you're not alone, and we always say for our Student of the Year and just things in general, why not you? Because it literally could be you. So you definitely gave a wonderful summary and collective of it all. So once again, we really appreciate you being on the pod. Do you have any other shout outs? Like, I'm not sure if you're on social media, if people want to follow your journey, anywhere they can follow you if they want to. If not, that's totally fine. Social media is up to whoever wants to do it.
No, I think we're good here. All the shout outs were really to the people I said before because they have really pushed me. Social medias, I'm on social media,
Yeah, but
but
you don't want to.
I don't have a story to give out yet. I want to make sure that I have something concrete before I really go, and then people can really watch the journey begin from then.
Okay, no, hey, that's totally fine. Folks, don't worry. She will be back. She will be here. She will be ready. So keep your eyes on that. And like I said, we greatly appreciate you. And that is going to be our podcast with our Student of the Year for 2025, Santana Kennedy from McKeesport Area High School. We both greatly appreciate you watching and listening. And we hope you have a splendid day. Have a good one.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Beyond the Challenge podcast. If you want to learn more about us, check out our website at tcpinc.org or check out all of our social medias. Thanks, and have a good one.